Can you guys hear me? Oh, seems like my microphone decided to act up again. I just happened to catch it just now. Okay, could you guys hear me beforehand? Or was I just talking to the void? Wow, Streamlabs, what is going on with you? It just randomly cut out again? Okay, it was working before I started the stream, so I think I might have identified the issue with it. So, okay. My apologies, everyone. So, Dawn's here, Miraculous Holder 365's here, Kevin, you're here. What's up? Hope you're all having a great weekend. Okay. Thank you, Don. Yeah, Streamlabs. It told me my microphone was working, but then I just checked it just now, and I'm like, oh, yep, not working. So I was literally talking to the void again. So I gotta go ahead and reiterate myself here, since Streamlabs decided to cut my microphone out. So, hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. Just to answer your question, my birthday was on the 19th, Kevin. I hung out with family, and I went to the arcade. It was pretty fun. It's been kind of strange because I've taken about a 2-week break from YouTube, and I'm back, and also Matt's here as well. Say hi, Matt.
Hi.
So.
Not much, just tired and looking for a snack.
You're good.
Yeah.
We're just doing this. Well, I mean, I kind of couldn't do it previously since I was out of town yesterday and then earlier today, and I was like tired when I came back home. Yeah, I was gonna tell you, but then I forgot. But yeah, so that's been my weekend. I've been been pretty busy, but I'm back. Anyways, the music you hear in the background is from a separate stream, Video Game Study Lounge. Pretty chill. As you can tell, it's lo-fi video game remixes. Usually listen to it when I'm studying, like working out or working. Need something to distract me from my work day. It's really cool. You should check it out sometime. Just shilling for that really quickly. Also, for the people that are brand new here, usually what we do here is I give it a couple minutes, and obviously a little bit longer today since my microphone decided not to work in the beginning again. At least it wasn't like 20 minutes into the stream. It was like only like a couple minutes, so not too bad. But usually we give it a couple minutes and then get started. I'll do my summary here at the 10-minute mark. So I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to just look at Streamlabs like constantly. Make sure that the microphone doesn't cut out. Are you gonna do a video on upcoming episodes when you get the summaries? I'm kind of unsure, to be completely honest. I did see the summary for this upcoming episode, which is obviously not this week because we don't have an episode airing this week due to the Olympics. I read the summary and it didn't really entice me to make a video on it. I think once we get kind of more into Roy versus Rhyme and maybe the Liko versus Grusha episode, I'll kind of have an idea of whether I'm going to make another video discussing my thoughts. Because I kind of feel like, based on the titles and what I already covered, it's kind of, I don't want to, like, I guess I don't want to be repetitive with it, if that makes sense. I've done that in the past when I was, especially back in the day when I covered Journeys. And a lot of people were, like, accusing me of milking my content, so I don't want that type of stuff hurled at me. But again, so we'll see. It's just gonna depend on what the summaries contain, I guess. I've been kind of waiting for them, but we'll more than likely get it in like the next week, I think. Alright, we're almost at the 10-minute mark. Once we get to 10 minutes here, I'm going to give my brief summary of this episode. Okay, at this moment, we've only got 3 votes. Guys, we got 8 people here. If you could do me a favor and cast your vote, rate the episode out of 10. Whether you think it's 10-9, 8-7, 6-5, or lower than 5. Obviously, I only have 4 options, so I kind of got to, be creative with my poll. So if you could cast your vote, if you haven't already, I would definitely appreciate it. I thought the last time we were going to see a Pokemon lose a battle after evolving was when Ash's Litten evolved into a Torracat. That's a good point. Have we had another example? I'm guessing that didn't happen in Journeys, did it? Obviously, most of Ash's team was already fully evolved. Or couldn't evolve in the case of Dracovish. And then, Riolu technically lost a B, but it didn't evolve. There, it evolved during the Darkest Day arc. I don't know, yeah. I think you might be right. Unless you want to count Florgato losing to Rayquaza, but like it's Rayquaza. I can see the next episode being possible capture, but most likely not, I think, or Quaxwell will learn a new move. I'm kind of in the camp that we're probably... I mean, a capture would be cool, but this feels like an episode where it's kind of more of a calm before the storm kind of thing before Roy has his battle with Rhyme. So, I'm not sure. I've said this before, but I feel like captures are probably not going to happen until we move on from the terrestrial debut chapter. More likely in Chapter 4 we'll get captures. We could potentially see captures in the other regions we visit, which I think would be kind of neat, if I'm being honest. It'd be really cool if we got, like Liko caught a Sinnoh Pokemon or something like that. Or Roy catches a Pokemon from Johto or something like that. That'd be cool. 7.5 out of 10. Okay, I kind of delayed my my summary by a few minutes, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. So obviously this episode is Dot versus Larry. So before we get to the actual battle, Liko, Roy, and Dot, obviously went to where Dot was gonna take her practical or her intermediate test against Larry, but Larry happened to not be available at the time. And that's when they walk out, and Quaxly notices something, and it's actually a street dancer, it looks like. Not like a street dancer, but like someone dancing on the street with their Pokemon. They're dancing with their Ori choreo. And I thought it was a pretty neat little segment in the episode. It seems kind of inconsequential at first, but it pretty much actually ends up helping Dot a little bit in her battle with Larry, as Quaxly starts imitating the other Pokemon's moves. So it already is showing some signs of evolving, since Quaxwell, likes to intimidate or like copy its opponent's like moves and stuff like that and movements. So that's pretty neat. A little foreshadowing to the upcoming evolution. But anyways, they go to, it's actually funny, they actually go to the Treasure Eatery, which is the competitor of the place that we were at in the previous episode. I think it was like the Anything Eatery or something like that. Anything You Can Eat Eatery. Can't remember its name. Probably should change its name since they're not really doing that anymore. But anyways, they're at the Treasure Eatery, and yeah, this is where Larry's gym is at. And I thought it was kind of neat because they're like, "Oh, you're here for Larry," and then Larry literally is acting like his game self, which I thought was pretty cool. He was pretty much directly in character from his game counterpart, and like, all right, well, time for the battle. And the people that were like sitting basically in the area where the battle takes place, they were like, oh, this is awesome. Well, yeah, we're gonna obviously move. We'll watch it from the bar or whatever. And I like how like the room actually like it pulls away like the tables and stuff, and then brings out the battlefield, or it's hiding underneath it. I don't know. I thought that was really neat. That was a little neat thing in the episode. But anyways, we get Dot versus Larry, and it's already off to a really bad start for Dot. Dot is actually kind of explaining in the episode that she prepared for this, obviously. Just like with Iono, her main flaw here is that she's coming up with scenarios, like obviously using like her computer skills to come up with strategies to go up against Larry, and much like with Iono, it doesn't work out very well, like at all. Larry takes out the Dunsparce. Quaxly is taken out first, and gets hit with Glare, which means it's paralyzed, which is not good. And so Quaxly is, and it also ends up getting attacked as well. So Quaxly is withdrawn, and Tinkatink is taken out. And the one thing that's emphasized here is that this is Tinkatink's first battle under Dot's ownership. Yeah, that's not a good thing, Dot. That's not a good thing, everyone. It's pretty inexperienced, and you're taking up against a gym leader who also happens to be part of the Elite Four. So, I like how it gets scared of the Dunsparce, but in order to avoid glare, it ends up covering its eyes with its little makeshift hammer, which I thought was kind of neat. But it's also kind of scared of it at first, but it ends up overcoming that fear. Quaxly actually comes out with the Pokeball and starts cheering it on, which I thought was neat. Despite it being paralyzed, it ends up cheering for Tinkatink. Larry ends up commanding the Dunsparce to use a Hyper Drill. Initially, it's looking really bad for Tinkatink here. It ends up using Brutal Swing to basically cancel out that attack. Unfortunately, the Dunsparce, I want to say, gets taken back or recalled, and then Straptor is basically used for the rest of the battle, and it ends up taking out Tinkatink. Yikes. So Dot is already in a massive pickle here because she already lost one Pokemon, and her other active Pokemon is paralyzed. So Quaxly is at a complete disadvantage. It's just struggling in the battle, still succumbing to its paralysis. But as Dot is struggling here, you know, she ends up taking advantage of the situation and realizes earlier that Quaxly was imitating, the other Pokemon's moves. And movement, so has Quaxly start utilizing its environment and mimicking Straptor, and it ends up actually combining moves and ends up actually doing a little bit of damage to Straptor. And as a result, it ends up evolving into Quaxwell, which was actually, honestly, probably the highlight of the episode for me. This is kind of where things kind of turned around, It seemed like things were going in Dot's favor. Dot ends up terrestrializing Quaxwell, and then Larry decides to step things up and terrestrialize Straptor. Unfortunately for Dot, Quaxwell still has the paralysis, lingering from earlier. It doesn't end up overcoming it because its trainer, wouldn't be sad. Just like in the games where sometimes they'll be like, oh, you've had a high friendship. Oh, it doesn't want you to be sad, so it just overcame the paralysis or overcame the poison. And it unfortunately didn't happen, and Straptor ends up taking out Quaxwell. So Dot loses the battle. But she ends up passing. Just because she managed to utilize her Pokemon. It looked like things were going bad at first, but Tinkatink, canceling out the Dunsparce's attack, was one factor. And then, terrestrializing at the appropriate moment basically counted as, her passing and utilizing her skills in battle. So she ends up passing. And I think it's funny because I want to say Larry ends up paying their bill when they're all eating, and is instantly depressed, which I thought was kind of funny. So that's pretty much where the episode ends. So overall, in my opinion, I thought this episode, I'd say it's a good episode. I will say that this episode does highlight Dot's flaws. Dot happens to be my favorite character in the series now. However, I'm not going to ignore some of the flaws I see with her in this episode. I think the big elephant in the room is that Tinkatink has not properly trained, or we haven't really seen it properly trained in the series. And this happens to be its first battle under Dot's ownership, which is very concerning. You probably should train it up a little bit before taking it into a gym battle. So, I feel like the episode kind of loses the point there, because I feel like Tinkatink should have been a little bit more prepared. So, what I want in the future is I want Tinkatink to maybe get like an episode of development or something like that. Maybe learn a new move or something like that before potentially evolving itself. It definitely is the next Pokemon in line for development. Now that, Kilowattrel and Heterim had their moments, recently. Tinkatink is absolutely due for one now. So, I just like how Dot was like, oh, I've already strategized. for this upcoming battle, but it's like, dude, train your Tinkatink. Now, as for Quaxwell, I'm not so upset that it lost. I think it did really well. The evolution was awesome. It does kind of kill the hype a little bit, since it literally evolved, terrestrialized, and then pretty much immediately lost, which is very concerning. But obviously it was paralyzed. So, and if you played Pokemon, you know how annoying paralysis is, and how it can literally like screw you over in any battle. So I kind of felt that in this episode. I felt Dot's pain there. Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it is a little frustrating because, like, I look at this. She lost against Iono. She lost against Larry. She did technically win against Poppy, but it was technically Iono that kind of secured the win there. I am a little bit on the frustrated side because I kind of want Dot to, like, win here. And I almost feel like she should have won against Iono. Granted, she might stand a better chance now that her Quaxly evolved. But yeah, I'm kind of a little bit, I guess, a little frustrated. So, I kind of want, what I want to see from Dot is I want her Tinkatink to get some focus, learn a new move, maybe become less of a scaredy cat, and eventually evolve, obviously. And maybe Quaxwell, learning a new move, or like showing how much, more powerful it is now that it's evolved. And, maybe actually get a W here. Maybe against one of the Explorers or something like that. So, that's kind of what I want to see. Like I said, Dot's my favorite character, but I ain't gonna just sit here and ignore the, I guess the issue and the issue that's kind of going on with her. So, not totally, I'm not totally, like, disappointed or anything. It's just, yeah, I kind of want to see some growth from Dot, after this. But I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I just want to see some growth from this. I just don't. I guess it's one of the, criticisms I do have for this arc is that we're losing a lot to these gym leaders, and I think at a certain point we need to actually, turn these L's into W's. So. I just don't want it to be, Dot loses to Larry, Roy loses the Rhyme, Liko loses the Grusha. I think after a while it's kind of going to be a little bit on the frustrating side. So, but who knows? I guess we'll see what they decide to do. So that's kind of like the main thing here for me with this episode. But overall, I found the episode to be fine. In my opinion, I would say that it is a solid 7. Maybe an 8. I mean, Larry is pretty chill, and he is the best gym leader in the game, so I guess Larry winning is not exactly the worst thing in the world, I guess. Alright, so I've blabbed on long enough, so we're gonna get caught back up on the chat. So, what's up, y'all? Sorry, I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but I kind of got to get that off my chest because that's my thoughts after watching this episode. So, this is the only capture I would be okay with this arc. I could see them doing a Capsule Kid moment, most likely Roy getting his gym battle afterwards, so why I don't think he will. Gotcha, yeah. I think the main thing is that Kilowattrel needs, like, some battle action here, and I think it's gonna get some focus here. So I'd rather, like, Roy catches another Pokemon later on and Kilowattrel gets its focus, or its time to shine here. And obviously Fuecoco's potential evolution as well needs to be kind of the focal point as well. At least Dot tries to prepare for battles. Wish Liko would do the same. I get it. It's just with this series, the Pokemon anime in general, it shows that sometimes you gotta think outside the box. That's what Ashy Boy did a lot. And it worked in his favor, so it's kind of what they're doing here. Quaxwell losing to Raptor was expected, yeah. It was paralyzed, so it couldn't really do anything. I felt Dot's pain there, like I said. Can't tell you how many times that has happened to me where I'm just like, oh, I'm doing really good. It can attack. Your Pokemon can't attack because it's paralyzed. One-shotted. Dang it! Keyless Dragon Ball. Hey, what's up? Tinkatink is cute, but you're right. It needs to be trained. Yes, for sure. Hasn't Heterum been spellbound since the episode evolved? Unfortunately. I think the only time we've probably seen it is maybe when it's like eating or something like that. We haven't really seen it like a ton since it evolved. I guess its first battle outside of beating up those Annihilate is going to be against Grusha, so I guess we'll see how it does. Oh, Pokefan. Hey, what's up? Welcome. I'm glad you made it. Hope your vacation is going well. Wow, 10 people are here. What's up? I wasn't really expecting a crowd since we're doing this at a very different time than normal, but thank you for working around my schedule, everyone. Just had to kind of change things up here, especially since I've been gone pretty much all this weekend, so yeah. T. Henry 12, hey, what's up? Welcome in. How are you doing? I wish Dot did win at least one battle, but despite that, it was a good episode. Give Tinkatink some training. She needs it. I felt Dot's frustrating because she's my fave. Quaxwell is great, though. Yeah, I want to see more of Quaxwell, and a new move would be really cool. I'm so glad Quaxwell is here. My boy is big now, lol. Lol. And, yeah, I don't really want the kids to be losing too much, even if it's just a test. I wish Tinkatink could have KO'd the Dunsparce and then went down after to Staraptor, poor baby. Yeah, it's just that, like, since it was its first battle, I think the problem is, like, if it actually won against the Dunsparce, people would complain. Like, let's just be real. If people saw that, they're gonna be like, oh, this is like plot armor, you know what I mean? You'll get those accusations, so it didn't lose to it. It managed to, repel its attack, so it shows a little bit of growth there. So that was cool. I just want to see more from Tinkatink now. There's a lot to be desired after this battle with Tinkatink. And I hope that, it gets stronger, learns a new move or two, and then evolves or something like that. Because, like I said earlier, it's the next Pokemon in line for development. Kilowattrel had its development episode. Heterum had its development episode. So Tinkatink is the next Pokemon in line for development. Whenever that will be. I hope Roy wins. I don't see Liko winning though. I want Roy to win. Alright, trust me guys. I want Roy to win. I already laid out a scenario, like a perfect scenario for Roy winning, and I think the last stream I did. And I want it to come true. I just have a bad feeling that Roy is going to ultimately lose as well. Because I get the feeling that they're having the characters get at least one W here. As in, Roy technically won against Brassius. And then Dot technically won against Poppy. Whereas Liko has lost twice in a row. And with Dot, she lost both of her gym battles and then won against the Elite Four. So I'm wondering if they're going to have Roy lose. So that'd be a win and 2 losses. And then Liko has 2 losses and a win. But maybe my theory ends up being proven wrong. And Roy ends up winning. But that's just the feeling in my gut at the moment. Liko winning against Grusha would be kind of huge for her, though, since Grusha is technically the strongest gym leader of the Paldean gym leaders. Though the games also advertise the fact that you can fight them in any order, so yeah. Dot should have won, but I hope Roy wins his next. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's all good, man. Stuff happens, yeah. It's like Roy's doing the opposite of as Liko. Wattrell was ball bound before it evolved. Now it's always out. Hatena was out all the time. Now it's evolved. Now it's been ball bound. That's a good point. I highly disagree if it could beat Oathworm. It could have easily beat the Dunsparce. Yeah, the only difference is that like the Oathworm is, a wild Pokemon, whereas the Dunsparce is trained by a gym leader / Elite Four member, so it does have kind of that advantage there. To me, Roy's best win condition would be Quaxly showing up and then Terra versus Terra showdown with them winning via the newfound power in their bond. I did want to ask everyone's thoughts on something. Yeah, go ahead. Just to answer earlier. Yeah, like I said, I want to see a montage of like Roy and Fuecoco's moments. They do their song and ends up evolving and then winning. That's like the best case scenario. That, like I said, that's the formula of a 10 out of 10 episode, and not maybe necessarily a 10 out of 10 battle, but like a 10 out of 10 ending to a battle. So I guess we'll see what they do. Roy's gonna win. I think Grusha is gonna cream Liko. The only way Liko can beat Hedoram against Altaria. Well, they could surprise us. Who knows? The series is quite unpredictable. So according to the Dex, Crocolar isn't good at singing, surprisingly, and the harder it tries, the more destructive and fiery its voice becomes. So could that cause a depression, lack of confidence in it? Oh. You bring up a good point. I wonder if... Because if that's the case, then that could be an argument against it evolving. Though we've already seen promotional stuff that pretty much signals that it's going to happen. It's hard to say. But yeah, it gets frustrated and ends up taking out Rhyme's Pokemon in its frustration. But they had Fuel to the Fire. What if it lost and that, caused it to become more upset? Could be similar to when Sobble evolved, but maybe handled better. Because I don't want that to happen again. Would really prefer that not happening. Okay, microphone seems to be working fine now. Okay, so realistic things, yeah. So I guess does anyone want to, I tend to really read into these kind of things regarding biology and stuff, and it leads me to thinking about how it could impact future evolutions and arcs / mini arcs, since I see no one else to ask the hard realistic things. Gotcha. You bring up a good point. Does anybody want to add to that? Kevin, Miraculous Holder, Keyless Dragon Ball. I feel like it is so weird that all of the protagonists are involved or are evolving all their starters. I think it's actually kind of neat, personally. I feel like this series, kind of, opens a door for that happening. Now, I guess it's to be seen if they're gonna all fully evolve. They've at least, we've got 2 to their mid stages, and Fuecoco is potentially, very strongly implied to be evolving in this upcoming episode 2, so... I don't want the trio to evolve every single Pokemon team. There are certain Pokemon that I think definitely need to evolve. Like, I would like Tinkatink to evolve at some point. I think that Sprigatito, I think both of Lico's current Pokemon are gonna fully evolve to their like last stages. At least that's what I think. Roy, we'll see what happens with Fuecoco. Quaxwell could be it for Dot. But I would like Tinkatink to either fully evolve or get to stage 2. At a minimum. It's weird but welcome in my eyes. See, this would make it, like, and this would also stand out too. It would be the first series to do this, and I would think it would be cool. It's just gonna depend on if they decide to actually, go the, the extra mile with it and actually do it. I think they both will most likely, unfortunately. I mean, I guess it depends. The question is, are we catching is each of them catching a third Pokemon? I think Chapter 4 is where that's potentially going to come into place. By weird, I just mean we never had it at all in 8 generations of the anime. The closest we ever got was almost Gen 3. Yep, really close in Gen 3. I think Quaxwell is the best fitting in the line for Dot. Yeah, and it just depends on kind of like what's going to happen from here, because Dot technically still isn't listed as a main character in Horizons, even though like I feel like this arc she definitely is. But at least for this chapter, she is a main character. It's going to depend on, how things go when we go back to, we're back on the ship, because then we're going to kind of go back to normal for the series. Is she just going to be hanging out in her room, streaming or making vids? Or is she going to be actively going out with Liko, Roy, and, like, Freed? Guess that's to be seen. Alright, Mike's still working fine, so that's good. Well, thank you for the hearts. I know we got 9 people here, but 2 favors. If you haven't voted in the chat, or voted in the poll, excuse me, the poll that's in the chat, go ahead and do that. We got 7 votes. If we can get to 10 votes at least, that'd be cool. And if you guys could like the video, we're really close to getting to 10 likes. We're at 8 likes. We need 2 more to get to 10. So if you could like the video, I definitely appreciate it. It helps with the algorithm and stuff, so that would be cool. I just wonder how Quaxwell will integrate on Nidothing videos lives. Not saying it can't fit, but realistically I'm actually thinking Dot will slowly step away from relying on it and become more her. Yeah, that would actually be an interesting thing, because you do see Dot slowly change. I've been watching some of the dub episodes for Horizons, and I'm early on still. Dot has changed so much as a character. She is way more outgoing. Like in this episode, she got a little bit nervous when they were out in public and Quaxly was dancing, but she seemed really comfortable with it after a minute, and that Quaxly do its thing. So it just shows that Dot is just slowly, coming out of her shell and, becoming more outgoing. Like, she is she is a much different character than earlier in the series, and I think we all like her for that. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get to the end of the series and she just takes off the Nidoking thing and reveals herself. That would be like the conclusion of her character arc right there. And it would be a beautiful thing to watch. That's the only thing I don't like about Liko is her. I would have preferred Flora to stay Floragato permanently, but Pokemon money hungry. Would have preferred Hatena stayed small, but I don't hate her evolutions. Yeah, I just feel like they're probably going to fully evolve. It just kind of feels like the right thing to do personally, for at least in my opinion. Hey, yo, what's up, Devin? It's cool we got this Starter's evolution used. Have more Starter's evolution used to have more build up. It's cool. It's happening. I guess, in my opinion, Braxton's evolution definitely felt more earned, but I get it. But I get it. I'm old school, Mitchell. Well, they've kind of hinted at it. Obviously, like earlier in the episode, like the whole dance segment was kind of just to indicate that Quaxly was kind of starting to integrate, and imitate, its opponent's moves, which is kind of a dex entry for Quaxwell. So it kind of just shows that it was kind of like getting close to evolving. I guess it was just hinting that the evolution was right around the corner. But yeah, I get your point. I think it was better than Wattrell to kill a Wattrell, personally. I just would have preferred the cute Mon. I gotcha, Kevin. Kimberly and Kirkland. Hey, what's up? Welcome in. Love all your videos. It's awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Definitely makes me want to continue doing this. So, thank you so much. I don't know what else to say. Just thank you. It means a lot when you say that. I really hope she gets a Nidorina just to fully round out her character. That way she could always have some aspect of Nidothing with her, even if she drops the suit. You know what, Pokefan? I like that. That would be cool. Like if we go back to Kanto or something like that. Just, brings her arc to like a, full circle close. It would be good. Correct. According to the Dex, Quaxwell studies its movements of people and Pokemon from different regions all over the world to incorporate its dance practice. So yeah, we kind of saw that a little bit of a hint in the Iono battle. There was a little speck of hint that it was starting to dance around a little bit there. So that's why I want to say a couple people kind of noted like, oh, that was kind of like the main hint where it was like, oh, like see that right there? Yeah, that evolution is happening soon. It took almost 10 episodes, but we got it. Kilowattrell needed a few more episodes. Like, if he got consistent screen time and some small scenes of training, I think people would have been cool. See, here's the thing. That's probably, like... The thing about it is that episode is not a bad episode by any means. And it's not the terrestrial debut, arcs, like, issue, really. It's more of an overarching issue because Wattrell should have been shown, like, doing... either training or like battling or just being in like outside of its ball, like during the second arc of the series. Where we got Tinkatink, where Boy Coco was learning moves left and right. But Wattrell was just like sitting in its ball, chilling, not doing anything. That's where we should have gotten like a development episode for it. Or, at least have it out of its ball and like contributing to like something. So again, I don't blame this arc for that issue. Like, it's a good episode. It's just like when you watch it and you think in hindsight, you're like, wow, there's a lot to be desired here. This should have had some more build up to it. Hatena, I think that Hatena could have used some more development as well. But in Hatena's defense, it can't speak. It at least was present in the episodes, and it was outside of its ball, just, hanging out in Liko hood. So at least you could, argue that, it was at least involved in some degree. Or at least had a presence, whereas Quaxwell didn't. Which is why a lot of people were frustrated with Quaxwell's lack of screen time. So, yeah. I get you, though. Thank you, Kimberly. Why does every character in each series have a Charizard? Look, they just have to remind you that Kanto exists, okay? Don't you love Kanto, guys? Don't you just really love Kanto? Remember, it's the first region? Pikachu, Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise? Oh, especially Charizard. Yeah, we're going to give Charizard 2 Mega Evolutions. We're going to have, all this, unique stuff for Charizard. And, all these characters have Charizards. Alon, you get a Charizard. Ash already has a Charizard. Alon, you get a Charizard. Kiawe, you get a Charizard. Leon, Charizard's your main ace. And a, extreme, wall. Just a tank. A tanky Charizard. Oh, by the way, Freed gets Pikachu and Charizard. So, yeah, he gets Kantomont. And watch. He's going to get another Pokemon. And it's going to be from, you guessed it, Kanto. But yeah. Yep, Gigantamax form. Yeah. It's just kind of funny. Which is why when Horizon started and they're like, oh, Liko's going to be in an academy in Kanto, I was just like, really? Bro. We hung out in Vermilion City a lot and journeys. And now we're in Kanto again? Luckily, we haven't been back to Kanto since, episode 6 or whatever? Wherever we were at in Kanto there. My headcanon is that Roy lives in the Sevi Islands. And that's where Roy is at. I've been hearing stuff about Roy potentially getting Frigsabacks, and someone online who gets leaks and regurgitates information keeps being, Fuecoco and having a special connection. If it's happening, just quit playing around and hate the speculation crap, whatever, people just assume stuff. We'll probably, we'll know soon enough, but I feel like it would just be such a random episode to have a capture, though. It just doesn't feel like the right episode for it, because, I get that we're going to have, Roy versus Ryan, but I feel like we probably should, focus on Roy's current roster, and then, later on get a capture. But hey, look, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just some guy on the internet that talks about Pokemon Horizons. I don't believe it till we see it. That's why I don't like Roy. He doesn't care about Pokemon, strictly Fuecoco. I don't think he doesn't care about Pokemon, but it's just that Quaxwell should have, been more involved. That's just my argument. Freed, I like him, but it's cool. He oughta the way for a bit, because as cool as he is, he has the Gojo issue in the sense he's so strong you have to find ways to keep him out of the way for tension. You bring up a good point. So, in my opinion, I think that this arc, I've mentioned this before several times, but This arc, you know, it is kind of a shame that the Rise and Bolt Tacklers have kind of taken a back seat, and they're not as present. They've been here and there, but like they're clearly not like a focal point here. The main focus is Liko, Roy, and Dot, getting, you know, more screen time, more time to themselves. You know, they're more independent. This is a necessary arc for them because like this whole series they've been kind of chaperoned around by, you know, Freed and the other Rise and Bolt Tacklers. Mainly Freed's the one that, you know, is the battler. The other ones are not really like battle savvy. We kind of learned that pretty earlier on that they're not super battle savvy. Freed's the one that is actually the strong member of the Rise and Bolt Tacklers. But this was just the problem that the series had is that, like, because they were around Freed all the time, Freed could easily bail them out, which happened a lot, which, you know, kind of hinders, you know, your character's growth when you have a like strong character like Freed that's, you know, saving the day constantly. And by the time we got to the end of chapter 2, they pretty much acknowledged that, yeah, we need to get stronger, like, we need to do this. Like, it took them a little while to get to that point, but yeah, this is like a very necessary arc for the characters to become more independent. That way, if Freed's not around and, you know, they have to, you know, handle things on their own, they can, you know, stand their ground. Like, I think the main thing here is, like, obviously, we've had a few evolutions already. We've had new moves and stuff like that. The characters have developed, and they're going to be able to terastallize their Pokemon as well. So, they're going to be, you know, a lot stronger compared to, you know, pre-Terrestrial Course arc. Obviously, Spiritomb evolved, but it's learned a new move since then. It also can terastallize, so when this arc ends, the characters are going to be stronger. They'll be able to stand their ground more. They'll be more independent. We don't need Freed all the time saving the day. In fact, it'd be really nice if Liko, Roy, or Dot ended up, you know, saving the day and maybe saving Freed. That's how you kind of, you know, turn things around. Make Freed be the one in trouble, and Liko, Roy, and Dot have to save him. That would be great. It would definitely, you know, show their growth and show that because of them doing this, they grew as characters and they became stronger. It would be great to see. Then, you know, the strong Gojo-like character ends up getting saved. Well, at least hopefully, you know, what happened to Gojo doesn't happen to Freed. Not gonna get into spoilers for JJK, but yeah, if you know what I'm talking about, you know. Kanto can go suck eggs in my LMAO. I'm glad we're taking a break. Yeah, for sure. Wouldn't be surprised if we go there for like a little bit, maybe back to the academy for a minute, for like an episode or two or something. They could have the lab and Galar for Horizons. He shows it with Wattrell. Freed had to literally remind him he had him in Galar, the Galar mine. I can't remember that. Oof, that's bad. But that was really earlier on. That was before chapter 2. I would still say that's still pretty early. So yeah, I would rather Roy and Fuecoco development instead of getting a new Pokemon now. Like, yes, get at least one or two more Mons for the kids, but let Fuecoco evolve before we move on. It's practically a training evolution season. Yep, exactly. And like I said, I think if we're going to get any new captures, it's probably not going to happen until Chapter 4. Because after we have these last, you know, terrestrial, you know, course battles, not really sure how this arc is going to wrap up, but I think at that point we probably got about 5 episodes left. Fuecoco doesn't need any more attention. Kilowattrel can use more time. Instead of trainers forgetting about him. It's nice it's developing now. We're going to probably see it get shown off in this upcoming battle. And then Fuecoco can evolve, and then they can get like equal development from there. Or before he gets a new Pokemon down the road, we'll see what happens. I hope we don't have just the starters, Terra. I really want to see the others, and Terrapagos go all out. I mean, in Journeys. Oh. I see. Yeah, I think going back to your point, Boki fan, I would like to see like Kilowattrel or Heterim terrestrialize. I think that would be really cool. Hopefully it's just not the starters. That would be kind of lame in my opinion. Also very annoyed we don't have many unique Terra types on the original Horizon Mons because Dark Terrazard is not enough. Farah, Terra, Skillydirge is actually very good and competitive, for example. Yeah, you make a good point. Yeah, it would just it can turn the battle around and just surprise people if they have like a different type. So, be nice if we got that later down the road. That's my feeling exactly. Super Plush Productions. Hey, what's up? Do you think Roy is gonna catch Frigabacks? I'm leaning on no, but who knows what happens. It feels like it would be a very random episode for it to happen, because usually when we have capture episodes, it's kind of like a focal point in the episode, whereas it doesn't seem like this is a focal point for this episode. This feels like more of a, hey, we're on our way to the gyms kind of episode. Kind of like those episodes where we're heading back to the Academy, though we did have 2 evolutions in those episodes. So there's that. We have 5 more episodes after the Grusha battle, thank God. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to see how things wrap up, because we gotta head back to the Academy. We'll probably have like an episode or 2 going back to the Academy. And then when we go back to the Academy, I think that's where we're gonna wrap things up. I think what I predict happening is Penny is gonna contact Dot, and she's gonna be like, "Hey, I looked into these people, that teacher, Sandwich and Onigi or whatever their Onyx and Sango are calling themselves in this arc. I looked into them and I found out that they just showed up and they were not here previously. There's something very fishy going on. I need you to meet up with me when we get back." And then it just sets up like the climax of this arc. And then probably they'll end up getting expelled or something like that, because they're going to get exposed. We'll have a big battle or something like that. Maybe we'll get a hint about what, Amethio is doing, maybe going after Spinel. And then we have like a graduation ceremony or whatever, and then they meet up with the Rising Voltaclers, and Orla's like, "Hey, the ship is done. It's time to go to Sinnoh. We're gonna go find Cleavor now." And then Q's in Arc 4 of the series. I could be very wrong, but hey. That just based off of what I think is going to happen, because I don't think Penny becoming friends with Dot is for nothing. I think that them exchanging numbers is going to have meaning. Sooner than later, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens from here. Yeah, like I was saying, the guy I heard potentially saying that kind of wasn't being straightforward and vague, so personally I say no. Would be cute and all, but very out of place. This feels more like Capsa Kid. Yeah, that's kind of just my feeling with it right now. Are you talking about the one individual that watches the episodes early? I believe, since we don't have an episode this week, I don't think we're going to know this week, but next week we'll probably know what happens in the episode. That's when you'll know a capture will happen. I was not wrong about Quaxly evolving in the gym battle against Larry. Oh, I think you've mentioned it in a few of my videos. I mean, to be completely honest, it was always plausible that that was going to happen. Some people thought that Quaxly was going to evolve against Iono, but instead we just got a hint that it was probably coming soon. Not Griffin, someone else. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. There are two different people. There's Griffin and there's someone else that also watches the episodes early, and they are they haven't been active lately, but they have pretty much accurately I guess accurately spoiled the episodes, so they clearly have some insider information. Spinel delivered the Recurium, I bet. Amethio is gonna get its waste of time. He's not smart enough. Let Spinel win. It's gonna be hard. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen between those two. Did we get information about episodes 60 through 63? Last time I checked, we just got a summary for episode 60. I've been very busy lately, so I haven't really had a chance to keep up with the episode summaries. Last I knew, episode 60 got a summary, and I wasn't really, I guess, what's the word? I wasn't really, it didn't really entice me to make another video on it. And I personally don't really like making videos on a single summary unless something massive is happening in the episode based on the summary. So, and I said earlier, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a follow-up video. The summaries need to have something that's like either something crazy or like something explicit about the episode for me to talk about it, I guess. Spider Kid Studios, I think it was. Not calling them out or nothing, just saying what I read. Oh, gotcha. I haven't seen him in a minute. Hey guys, could you excuse me just 1 second? I'm gonna use the restroom. I'll be right back. Go ahead and just leave some more comments in the chat. I'll be right back. I promise. I just really gotta go to the bathroom. So, be back in just 2-3 minutes. Alright, I'm back, guys. I need to turn this light on because it's actually getting dark here. It's honestly kind of crazy. It's hard to believe that summer, we only have a month left of summer. So the days are already starting to get shorter. And hey, we hit 10 likes. I want to thank you guys for doing that. We definitely crushed that like goal. If we could get to maybe 15, that would be cool before the stream ends, but we at least got to 10. So. Oh, food's about to be here. Probably going to have to hop off shortly. Was fun, though. I'm glad my schedule worked out. No, you're a good Poke fan. I'm glad you're here. Obviously, we had to change things up due to me being out of town all day yesterday and earlier today. So, I appreciate everyone showing up at a different time than normal. I believe we'll be back to our regular schedule. Obviously not this weekend, but the weekend afterwards. I think we'll be back to our regular time. I don't know if I have anything else going on the rest of summer. I know I have a cookout I'm hosting but I don't think that should affect the actual stream. There might be a day I might be out of town. I know in September there's going to be a day that I am out of town on a Saturday, or that specific weekend. I'll probably be doing a similar thing that I'm doing here. But yeah. Do you think Roy will defeat Rhyme? Okay. I said this earlier. I want Roy to win against Rhyme. I've already laid out a scenario where I think Roy should win against Rhyme, and I think it would be the perfect ending for the battle. That being said, I have a gut feeling that Roy is going to lose, and I hope I'm wrong. I think there's a little bit of a pattern going on with these gym battles and the Elite Four battle, so it's gonna be hard to say. I will say if Roy does end up losing, I'm wondering if Lico's going to end up winning. Because I really think we need at least one W here. Someone needs to win. Phoenix and Ferb lied 104 days. My bum. Oh. It would so funny if Songo caught the Capsicum Roy met. I knew Songo has to have a second Pokemon. I think most of them only have one Pokemon. Unless you want to count like the Corviknights that they fly on, or some of them. Or Skarmory. Those feel like more like ride Pokemon, but hey. Who knows? But then again, Songo just rides on her Glalie, so doesn't really need a Skarmory or like Corviknight or anything. It would be interesting if they caught another Pokemon, though. It's just a little bit different than Team Rocket, because unfortunately you can't really get that development with the Explorers in that same regard. It would be neat, though. I think if anyone, it would be a Metheo, but who knows. Spinel does have multiple Pokemon, though. So, if he can have multiple Pokemon, why can't the other ones have multiple Pokemon? I'll post vacation pics and merch I grab once I'm free. I can't wait to see it. Yep, just drop it in the Discord. I'm dying to know her second Pokemon. Guess we'll see what happens. Can't Houndstone have the ability... Hopefully I read. I'm not too familiar with Houndstone. I'd have to look it up, which let me do that really quickly. Fluffy hidden ability. More than likely it probably will. People have been saying the gym battles are a disgrace to Ash's legacy. And the point of the gym battle is to win. Homies, these are school tests. Calm down. Yeah, I get the point. I do also see some validity to some of the frustrations. I do think people kind of take it a little too far, if you know what I mean. But I would like to see them win. That's why I kind of feel like with Dot losing again, it was just like a little bit like frustrating. It's almost like I kind of feel like she should have at least won against Iono. But hey, I guess winning is not everything. Ash didn't win the league for the longest time, so there's also that. I don't think Liko would win because Liko is going to use Florgato in the end, and Grusha uses ice types. I mean, this is the Pokemon anime where the types that have a disadvantage against the opponents types tend to overcome them, and vice versa. Look, as gotta get some wise words from Brock here. And those wise words are, both of Ash's Pokemon are fire type and are totally... Wait, was it? I think it was both of Ash's Pokemon are water type and are totally weak against fire typed. Just saying. And he was right. That's why Ash lost the Chaos League. It's required to have 2-on-2 battles for the second part of the challenge. You know, you raise a good point. So, what is her second Pokemon then? What's Onyx's second Pokemon? Or did they just steal them on? It can get fluffy, I believe. Let me check. She has to... You don't believe me, Mitchell? She has a second Pokemon. I feel it in my bones. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, if she had... The thing about it is, will they even pass? Because I get the feeling that they're going to get exposed by Penny. I feel that in my bones. The only other explorer without a second Pokemon revealed is Hamber and Gibeon. And Gibeon is still a mystery too, so he might have a stacked team. Who knows? Pikachu 10 million volt thunderbolted a freaking Electivire with motor drive, and it went down hard despite it not supposed to do anything. So yeah, Mitch will be spitting facts about crap not adding up in the anime. Yeah, both of Ash's Pokemon are water types and are totally weak against fire type. Thanks, Brock. I almost want that to be a... I wonder if I can add that to the soundboard on Discord. I should do that. So every time this happens, we're just gonna just spam the soundboard and just have like, thank you, Brock. I appreciate your contribution to the conversation. Onyx already does. He has Aerodactyl. Oh. I guess I haven't been paying as much attention. Alright, let me check it up. Okay, it's pretty much like Corviknight and Skarmory. He basically uses it to fly around. So I guess he can utilize that. See, that's just how unnoteworthy Onyx is. I didn't even realize he had a second Pokemon. Grusha uses Citadel. But what if it evolves during the battle? Like Grusha? Grusha's Pokemon? I don't feel like that would happen with the gym leaders, though. I feel like that would be overkill if that happened. Agate don't have a second Pokemon, just Medicham. Agate has 3 Pokemon, they're just not revealed yet on her belt. Does it mention anything on Bulbapedia about that? What if they're just empty Pokeballs, though? What if it's just a bluff? I'm sure we'll see more of her soon. Maybe at the end of the arc, since they're more than likely getting exposed. Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say. Oops. Songo will one of the battles for Liko and Roy be one of the battles. I feel like they're kind of building up to Songo being like Liko's like main rival, or at least like for right now. Although I feel like it needs to be a Metheo. That's the thing, is I kind of think that like Roy and Dot need like rivals in the Explorers, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. Like Liko and a Metheo have the dynamics going between them. Calling it now, Agate uses Colgate toothpaste for brushing. Huh. Guess so. Who's adding me? Hold on a second, everyone. Okay, I'm back. I think he showed Aerodactyl in the episode before the finale to this arc, where Coral was fighting over the Wiglet treats. Yeah, that was the episode. But he only used it to fly off. Well, gang, I gotta go now. Have a great day or night wherever you're at. Peace. Alright, thanks, PokeFan. Thank you so much for joining. It was a pleasure. Hope to see you in the next one. Everybody say goodbye to PokeFan. Okay. I feel like Roy is going to beat Toxicity. I think it's Toxicity. Hard to pronounce for some reason for me. I feel like it's going to be Kilowattrel who defeats it. That would be cool. You know what? I would be down for that. Like I mentioned earlier that like what I want, since it's Kilowattrel's like first major battle, I want it to be shown off in a good light. And that would be cool. It takes out a Pokemon, but then it loses the next one. Like, I would not be upset by that. At least it took down a Mon. And then Fuecoco has its moment where it potentially evolves. Oh, sweet. Garnet's themed. Yeah, but he has a second Pokemon, that's the point. I gotcha. Like I said, he's kind of an unremarkable character at the moment, so can't really blame me for not realizing that. Unless you go back and rewatch the episode, then you're like, oh, he has a second Pokemon there. Because he doesn't really use it. He only used it for transportation. How do you feel like the evolution of Quaxly? You mean how do I feel about the evolution? Is that what you mean? If so, I think it was well done. I think that I'm fine with it. It just kind of sucks that it immediately lost. I mean, granted, it was paralyzed still, so it kind of makes sense that it basically couldn't do anything in the end because it was still dealing with that paralysis. It didn't snap out of it. So, yeah. I think Onyx is pretty cool. He was able to catch an Aerodactyl, a pretty rare Pokemon. We'll finally see part 3 on August 9th, so I'll be beginning the second arc. I can't wait. Oh yeah, I forget you're a dub watcher only. I haven't made it super far into the dub though. Like I was saying, I'm pretty earlier on still. I'll eventually catch up. The thing about it is Onyx, like whenever we see him, like the only time he works, really, typically I will say, in the I think it was last week's or like last week's, the last episode, episode 58, he did show off a little bit more personality in that episode. So, to me, that was a step in the right direction for Onyx. But other than that, like before this, he only really worked when Songo was around, just because they bounce off of each other really well. They're each other's foils, pretty much. I'll finally get to form an opinion on Coral and Onyx, or Sidon, which I think is his dub name. Every time I see, that's why I just call him Onyx. I just call them Onyx and Songo. Like those names just stick better to me. Not to mention Sidon. It just reminds me of Sidon from Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. So that's just can't really see, him as being that name. I just see it as Onyx. I hate it how Tinkatink lost this Raptor and did not defeat the Dunsparce. Yeah, the thing about it is, again, it is its first battle under Dot, so it didn't really get a lot of training beforehand. So it losing in this battle didn't really surprise me. It would have been cool for it to get a W, but the result is kind of expected in my opinion, which is why I want to see some growth from Tinkatink following this loss, because it desperately needs a development episode at this point. I can't wait to see Diana too. Oh yeah, I think. What are the episodes for the part 3 of Netflix? Is it like episode 24, 25 to like 36 or something? Yeah, you'll definitely see her in those episodes then. Just call me gamer. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Do you think all the starters will fully evolve? It's kind of hard to say. I think at least Floragato will fully evolve. I don't know about the other two. I don't... Like, it's really hard to say. Like, I could see Fuecoco fully evolving. Quaxly, well, now Quaxwell, it potentially might just be it for it, but we'll see. I would like them to fully evolve. It'd be the first series to do that. So, guess we'll see what happens from here. I don't get why they gave him the name Onyx, because we knew they were going to change it in dub. I don't feel there was a need to change Songo or an Agate. I get it, but I don't know. I just prefer that, and it's spelled different than, Onyx, the Pokemon. So, yeah. Yeah, Songo could have stayed Songo, for sure. Do you remember me? Or you remember me? Of course. I've seen you in the streams before. I know it's been a minute since I've done a stream, but I mostly remember everyone, unless it's someone that's like brand new that has shown up for the first time. That's when I'm like, oh, we got a new person. I'm pretty sure Quaxwell will evolve in the I can't pronounce its final evolution. Is it Quaxwell? Something like that. Bulbapedia hasn't fully revealed all the episodes. I think we'll go up to the retrospective departures The going away party for Diana. Yeah, they probably still just need to update it. Just we gotta wait until the episodes drop, then they can probably reveal everything. But I do think they do get the episode titles before the dub episodes drop. That's cool. Yeah, we were talking like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I think the last time I did this stream, I kind of had to abruptly end it just because got a little interrupted. Would you like it if Tinkatink fully evolved? That would be cool. I first want to see some growth from it before we actually get to, you know, evolution number 2. I think it's at least going to evolve to its second stage. At a minimum. I mean, technically we have Tinkaton already like represented in the anime with Poppy, but we'll see. It would be cool. They only revealed like 4 or 5 episodes releasing, but there's no way we're only getting 4 episodes. Well, yeah, no. That would be a little on the insulting side of things, but you'll get at least 11, 12 episodes, somewhere in that range. 13 episodes maybe, even. It just sucks because I think it's gonna, like, the next batch is probably gonna cut into terrestrial course. And then you're just going to be dropped and waiting another 3 months for the episodes. I'm pretty sure all the Pokemon will evolve except Fuecoco. Fuecoco has a strong possibility of evolving in the episode against, in the battle against Rhyme. I said before that it's highly likely, and, if it doesn't, it's probably going to learn a powerful move. At the very least. And I get it, Fuecoco is the comic relief, so it evolving would kind of take away from that, but yeah. I would like an evolution still. It probably is the one that's due for one because it has been developing so rapidly in the series. Netflix isn't that stingy. They've been doing pretty good with Horizons. Yeah. I'm still not a big fan of the music change in the dub. I prefer if they kind of left it to, you know, the original, like, OST and not changing stuff up. That's just me, though. They're not gonna rush with that evolution, but they will. I think we have 2 more parts till Terrestrial Course. But honestly, it's the arc I'm looking forward to the least. I'm in no rush. I'm excited for the shine of Terrapagos the most, I see. I haven't fully decided if I'm going to do this or not, but I almost feel like I want to do chapter reviews rather than like individual episode reviews. I want to keep doing these live discussions, obviously. They've kind of taken the place of episode reviews, but I think arc reviews would be kind of neat. So I can give my thoughts on the arc overall, but I have not decided if I'm going to do that or not. Priorities have changed in life, so it's kind of hard for me to, you know, stream all the time and make videos all the time, so we'll see. We also got to get Roy's Fuecoco and Pokemon Scarlet, so yeah, that means it's gonna evolve soon. See, that's the thing, too, is like, we got Licos Sprigatito in the mystery gift, and then like a month or 2 later it evolved. Then Quaxly came after the Iono battle, and then 2 months later it evolves. So we just got Fuecoco. So that's what I'm saying is like, if it doesn't evolve in the battle with Rhyme, I feel like if it's gonna evolve, it's gonna be either then or like before this arc ends. Kind of similar to how Sprigatito evolved. Could also evolve, you know, in like the finale of this arc. But man, I don't want summer to end, bro. As excited as I am for these episodes, I'm also kind of sad because, again, summer just went by as fast as it usually does. We also get... Oh, yeah. You have to remember I'm not a Paldea fan. I'm kind of mixed with Paldea myself, too. Like, I think that, like... I want to see Paldea, like, showing off. Like, we kind of, like, lost out on the previous series, and I think this series is doing a far better job than the prior series did in showcasing the new region. So, I think we've gotten a pretty decent amount of Paldea, so that when we leave, I feel largely satisfied with what we've gotten so far with Paldea. Like, next would be Tinkatink, then Florgato into Meowscarada. I feel like Meowscarada is probably going to happen either in Chapter 4 or potentially Chapter 5. But we'll see. Then Quaxwell and the Quaxwell. Can't pronounce it. 4 is the one I don't want to fully evolve. All the rest they want. But I know, well, yeah, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's fully evolving, dude. It's happening. I'd be really surprised if they didn't fully evolve it. I did not like how Waterloo evolved early. You mean Watro? Oh yeah, Watro. Yeah, I think most people were underwhelmed. Like I said earlier, the episode it evolved in is not a bad episode by any means. And it's not an issue with this arc, you know, by itself. It's an overarching issue where it should have gotten more focus earlier in the series. It did have that one episode where it trained with Fuecoco, but then after that, it basically fell off the face of the earth, and then finally, you know, started becoming more present in this arc. So, it's one problem I've always had with the Pokemon series is that they're very inconsistent with, like, their Pokemon development. And Horizons doesn't escape that issue, unfortunately. Despite the fact that the characters have less Mons. Especially compared to Journeys, which really overdid it. I like Quaxly's final evolution better than Sprig's. And see, the thing about it is some people just don't like the Quaxly evolution line. Like, people are not a fan of it. I personally don't mind it. It's not my favorite, but I don't hate it at the same time. That's just me. Granted, it's not fantastic, but there was an idea that could have been really nice. I don't hate it. If they changed the feet and added more color to the design, it would have been better. I see what you're saying. Okay. Give me 1 second, y'all. What? Okay, anyways. I'm back. Sorry about that. If Fuecoco learned a new move, I would like it to be a ghost type move. I feel like if it actually starts, like gets like a ghost type move, it's probably not gonna be until it potentially evolves to its mid stage. Definitely when we get to its final stage, it will have a ghost type move. It's got a pretty solid move set at this point, but I feel like if it evolves, it's gonna definitely start switching around some moves again. I know if it will fully accepted Mailscarter will evolve. I won't be angry because I mentally prepared myself and I love Flora. I just hopefully it stays in that stage for a long, long time. I feel, and this is my opinion, I feel like we're going into this next arc after this arc ends. I feel like if it were to evolve, it might be later on. Potentially kind of mirroring, Spiritito. And it ends up evolving at the end of that arc. So potentially it would be 25 episodes from like episode 70 or something like that. 25 episodes, whatever, that it potentially evolves. So maybe around episode 90. I feel like that would be a decent amount of time you get with Floragato, and then like you have the rest of the series in its final stage. They've been kind of inconsistent with some of them. Like, back in Sun and Moon, Lana's Popplio evolved very late into the series, and it was only in its mid-stage for a very short amount of time before it fully evolved, which definitely was not the right move to make. I feel like at that point it should have just stayed at Popplio, but pretty much had to evolve for its battle in the league. So yeah. And then you have Cinderace, when it was a Score Bunny. It evolved really fast in the reboot. Then it was only a reboot. It was a reboot for longer than it was a Score Bunny, but then it evolves in the Cinderace very early into the series, and you pretty much have it for the rest of the series. But I know why they did that. They did that to get its character, get its development out of the way so that Sobble can get its development and then Grookey could get its development, which was non-existent for the most part. The reason people hate Quaxly's final is because they prepared themselves to get a Donald Duck evolution. They got angry. Really? You don't necessarily need it to. You can have the inspiration, but we don't need it to just stay that way its whole evolution line, I think Terrestrial debut is the whole season 2. I think it's only gonna last maybe about around episode 68, 69, 70 is probably where the arc is going to wrap up. Because based on these first 2 chapters, it seems like these chapters pretty much are going to last anywhere between 20 and 25 episodes. That's just the feeling I get. They're probably going to have chapter 4 maybe take place over 20 episodes, kind of similar to chapter 2. Then, chapter 5 is 25 episodes. That would take us to episode 115, and then 20 episodes for chapter 6 or something like that, and then maybe 10 episodes for an epilogue arc to wrap up the series. But who knows, that they could go to episode 150 or something like that. I feel Lana's Popplio stayed at its first stage for too long. Yeah, that's the thing, it did. Lana didn't battle a whole lot, but if they were going to evolve it, it should have evolved way sooner. If I had a choice for it to evolve, it should have evolved during the Nebby arc. Somewhere in there, or like right afterwards. Then you got a decent amount of time with it in its mid-stage. Until like episode, like, I forget what episode it evolved into its final evolution. And then you got that for the rest of the series. Brion. Yeah, unfortunately it evolved way too late, so it couldn't really stay as a Brion. Do you like the Galar starters better than the Paldea ones? I'm not the biggest Galar person myself. I like Scorbunny. Sobble and Grookey are okay. I do like their I do like Sobble's final evolution though. It's probably my favorite out of the three. Cinderace is pretty cool too. Grookey, that line's okay in my opinion. Rillaboom, I will say, is pretty cool. But out of the three, Inteleon is the best final. Scorbunny is my favorite of the three in its initial stage. But I'm personally not the biggest Galar person myself. That's just my opinion. Game-wise, I'm more so... a fan of Gens 1 through 5. I feel like ever since we started getting gimmicks, it's kind of, like, hindered the games a little bit. I like some of it, like Mega Evolutions is pretty cool for the most part. But I kind of feel like it just kind of, you know, you get said gimmick and then it disappears. Like, when are we gonna use Emus ever again, you know? I'm disappointed that, again, we're not getting an episode this week. By the way, hi, what's up, Thomas? Yeah, it is disappointing, but we do have the Olympics. My Hero Academia is not airing that day either, so it was gonna happen. I kind of wish we, you know, had this episode took place the week before, and then we just had a 2-week break or whatever. But I get they needed probably some extra time for like to brush up for this battle episode, so we'll give them that. I didn't care for Lana when I look back. So much wasted potential. Sandy should have evolved into Vaporeon, at least some water-type moves. I don't mind Lana. She's kind of an in-between for me. Like, I like her personality, and I do like some things about her. But I do agree that her Eevee should have evolved into a Vaporeon. It would have been cool. It would have been cool if it retained some of its like hairstyle or whatever as a Vaporeon. I don't know. It would make it distinct. It would make sense for it to be a Vaporeon since she, you know, is a water specialist. Chloe was way better. That's debatable, I'd say. Like I've said before, if you've seen my Journeys reviews, I always used to joke around and be like, hey guys, Koharu is a queen. She is a queen. She is the queen of Pokemon. I feel like she had potential, but I feel like as soon as she got her Eevee, it kind of just... that was it for her, unfortunately. They tried to give her episodes, but... I don't know. I kind of feel left unsatisfied with her character at the end. The gimmicks have gotten very old. Yeah. Like I said, I don't mind Mega Evolution. I think there are some issues I have with it in the games. But in the anime, it looks cool. Z moves, they look flashy, but it's like, again, when are we gonna use Z moves ever again? Unless we get Legends Alola or something like that, or Legends something. And then Dynamax, they're just like, when are we gonna use that again? I don't know. And then Terra Orbs, we're gonna move on to whatever. We're gonna get like something goobly loo for Gen 10. I don't know, just making stuff up. And then we'll only have it for that generation. So it's just the corner that Pokemon have backed themselves into. Now every generation has to have something unique for it. I get it, but like, I don't know. It's not helping though, I guess. Do you think Liko would beat Grusha? I don't know. I would like her to win because she lost twice in a row, but this is Grusha, and she's got a very big disadvantage, going into that battle, so we'll see. Maybe Heterim will, carry its weight. Well, I hope Roy catches Frigabex. We'll see. Like I said, I'm kind of not expecting it, but I like to expect the unexpected, so we'll see. I love the Galar starters. I don't care for the Rillaboom, but the signature move is really cool. But it's not a horrible design. Yeah, I like its signature. I like their signature moves. It's just Inteleon wins. It literally is a spy, and it's cool. And literally in its Gigantamax form, it literally sits up in a tower and snipes. Like, that is probably the one praise you'll hear from Galar from me. Do you think Liko, Roy, and Dot will have a full team? Yeah, probably not. I'd say our biggest hope for Liko, Roy, and Dot is to get at least 3 Pokemon in their team. And I'm not counting Terapagos for Liko, by the way. People give Chloe way too much hate. I don't hate her. I just kind of feel like underwhelmed with her character at the end. I feel like she had a lot of potential, and it just like with the series as a whole, there's just a lot of like wasted potential. The problem with Journeys is that Journeys was way too overly ambitious. It tried to do too much. Because it was trying to do so much, it left a lot to be desired with like how the series was handled, how returning characters are handled. Like, some characters are handled just fine, some others were not handled well at all. So, yeah, very hit and miss. Dot is what Chloe should have been. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. I personally agree. I think Dot has been developed fantastically. I have my critiques with her in this episode, but looking past that, she has really developed as a character. Even without her Pokemon, she's developed a great deal. So I'm pretty satisfied with Dot so far, and I just want to see like a little bit of growth with like Tinkatink. That's kind of the main thing I'm looking for next with her. The episodes she had were fun. They left her story very wide open too. I think some of the earlier episodes with her were good and were better than what we got with the Eevee stuff. Like, when she got Eevee, that was a good episode. I just don't think that it... I don't know. I didn't feel like it went anywhere. She wants to evolve her Eevee, though. I think there's some reliability. Yeah, Grusha's a guy. Grusha. Yeah, everyone was confused about that when the game came out, but yeah. Yeah, Groosh is a guy. I'm not judging, I forgot to, and I'm... Oh, okay. I see. I love Inteleon, he's cool. ASF. I feel like Journeys didn't care. The writers were like Team Rocket, Journeys, couch potatoes. I don't necessarily think that was the case. I just think that like the series was overly ambitious. Like I feel I see what they were trying to do. It was clearly always meant to be a finale for Ash's character. Like looking back at it now, it clearly was like a wrap up. I kind of knew that from the get-go. I just didn't say anything because I didn't want people to just pile on me at the time. But I knew from the beginning it was going to be Ash's last series. So once they said, oh, it's taking place across all 8 regions at the time, I was like, yep, this is it. And as soon as the Leon goal came in, I'm like, yep, this is the direction we're going. This is the direction we're taking. But it was just it was too overly ambitious. And I feel like they were trying to add Go in there to potentially make him the main character going forward, which could have worked, but they really kind of just dropped the ball with it, and instead we got brand new characters for Horizons, which I think was for the best, honestly. Do you think Roy will catch Frigibex? I think I mentioned this a couple times already, but I am gonna just say no. I feel like his chances at the moment are maybe around like 20 to 25%. And I feel like I'm being generous with that. I feel like there's a low chance it's gonna happen. Like I said, I like to expect the unexpected, and if he ends up capturing it, that's cool. But I feel like the focus is gonna be more on like Fuecoco and Kilowattrel going into this upcoming battle. And I think if there's going to be a capture, like a third Pokemon capture for Liko and Roy and Dot, it's going to be Chapter 4. That's going to happen, more than likely. But again, I like to expect the unexpected, so we'll see what happens. I hate how they made Team Rocket look in Journeys. I still get confused. I didn't feel any ambitions from them. Yeah, Team Rocket Journeys was a low point for them. A definite downgrade from Sun and Moon Team Rocket. Sun and Moon Team Rocket, they were great. They were actually enjoyable characters. Journeys Team Rocket, they like dropped the ball with that hard. And they also had the opportunity to like wrap up their story. Literally, the episode with Cassidy and Butch, I thought they were actually going to like go the route of actually concluding their characters because they left Team Rocket. I felt like that episode would have been a perfect seed for them to leave, and then that didn't happen. Then we got that terrible episode where like, oh, we got all our Pokemon, we're gonna like take down Ash and Pikachu and get that Pikachu once and for all. They fail. Oh, we hate each other. Only to make up at the very end, and then we're just gonna endlessly follow Ash forever. Yeah. Doesn't Kilowattrel learn Electric Ball when it evolves? In the games, maybe. I don't quite remember. I didn't have a Kilowattrel on my team. If so, then maybe it knows it, and maybe it'll show it off in the upcoming battle. That'd be cool. If it was Ash's last series, they should have done more with him. I agree. I get what they were trying to do, but like I said, it was too overly ambitious. It tried to do just too much. You had Ash, basically you're wrapping up his story, but you're also introducing Go, who basically is introduced as Ash's equal in the series, and not equal in the fact that they're as strong as one another, like equal focus. Like we got a completely different focus for Go. but they're trying to drive home the fact that his story is equally as important as Ash's, which in the end did not land because he didn't capture Mew, or like Project Mew kind of was a flop in the end, and they just dropped the ball with a lot of stuff at the end, which is why I'm kind of glad Go's like not the main character of Pokemon Horizons. I'm just glad we got a fresh new cast of characters. I think that's the best thing they could do for this series, honestly. A year into the series, and I am glad that we have original characters leading, the new series, and it's a clean slate for everything. This series has its own flaws, but I think that having brand new characters has like alleviated a lot of the series issues. It's a fresh start, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I knew it was going to be Ash's last season from episode 1. We never had the series open that way. Yeah, that too. But when I was reading all the stuff going in the series, I knew that was going to be it. At the time, which was like almost 5 years ago now, I wanted to make a video being like, yeah, I think that this is going to be Ash's last series. I literally, before I even started like recording or doing anything, I decided against it because I was afraid that people were going to dogpile me. And I didn't want to make it in the off chance that Ash just continues. So I kind of wish I would have made that video because I feel like I would have actually gotten some attention. But I also feel like I would have gotten a lot of crap for it. The series that shall not be named. Yeah, just refer to it for the rest of the video or the rest of the stream as such. Until they got the radio show. See? They could have actually done that! But in Sun and Moon, they had like the food truck thing going on. Too. That was cool! They could have like a lot of people say that Team Rocket's story could have ended with Alola, and people wouldn't have batted an eye at that. But yeah, I get it. They're iconic, so they had to continue. But it just oof, they dropped the ball with them. I enjoyed the cameos in the series that shall not be named. We won't talk about how I felt about the Erica episode. Oh gosh, I forgot she was in the series that shall not be named. I remember that episode. That episode was interesting. If Atena was gonna learn a new move, I would like it to be Psybeam. Psybeam would be pretty cool. I'd be down for it. I didn't want them to quit, but we had no fun moments in the Cassidy episode or interactions. That's all I wanted, but all we got was flashbacks. The biggest problem that I had with those episodes is that Cassidy and Butch literally were like on screen for like a minute or two. Like at most. Like they showed up, they met Cassidy, and then they left. Or like I think correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't like James stay behind or something like that? And then Meowth stayed behind with Butch or whatever because of that one Meowth, that female Meowth was there, and then or am I thinking wrong? But like it ended up not working or something like that. It's been a while since I've watched that episode, but that episode aired like a year, 2.5 years ago now. Oh my gosh, was it really that long ago? Oh my gosh, why is time flying? Yeah, I don't know. They were very much underutilized. I get the point that they were basically being utilized to kind of showcase, hey, there's more to life than being a Team Rocket grunt. And we got sick of losing all the time or just failing. So we wanted to just expand our horizons and see what else is out there for us. And that literally could have been like motivation for Team Rocket, for Jesse James and Meowth to be like, you know what? They're right. We shouldn't be doing this all the time, and we need to look out for ourselves, and maybe they just realize that we're not as evil as we thought we were. I mean, technically, yeah, they are like still bad guys, but they at least have heart. And they realize that in the end, and they, go their separate. They might end up going their separate ways, but they've, changed as people. or something like that. I don't know. There are multiple ways they could have handled this, but I don't know. I just feel like they did not handle it the best way. And Cassie and Butch also not being like as prevalent as they should have been also irked me. They came back and they were barely involved in those episodes. And it didn't amount to anything in the end. So it just felt like they came back for like nothing. Just for like fan service. That's all it felt like. And I have a real problem with that. Because it kind of just feels like bait. Because there are fans of those characters, by the way, that were super excited for that episode to air. And I know a specific somebody that's a big fan of them and was very much let down by that episode. So, yeah. Sorry for the tangent again. I just had to get that off my chest. That's what Journeys lacked, is actually interactions with the reunions. It was all flashbacks. Jesse could have caught Choodle, and it would have been a cute mon. I would have liked that. People wanted that. Instead, we got freaking more Peku, and yeah, that sucked. I will just say that just sucked. It was just used for its stupid food gimmick. That made me furious. She didn't catch it, but gave it to Giovanni. Yeah. Team Rocket had a great ending, though. I feel like that's debatable. Like that episode again, where they brought all their final Pokemon, was hype at first, and then I just feel like it kind of just fell apart in the episode, personally. I know that coughing and wheezing, wheezing and Arbok couldn't come back for obvious reasons, but yeah. I just think their ending was very debatable. If Roy fully evolves Fuecoco, do you think it would learn Overheat? Maybe. I'm expecting it to learn Torch Song if it fully evolves. I actually want Liko to fail her terrestrial test. In the Ash era, Ash always lost one gym battle. I want Liko to fail it. I'm recalling Grusha. See, I mentioned before that I think that something like that should happen. Like, they don't need to just automatically pass. Like, hey, I think you need to like improve yourself. Like you get one episode where like she loses, and then Grusha, maybe is like, or coldly tells her that she's not, suited for this or something like that, and maybe it causes her to have a episode where she has to self-reflect or something like that. That would actually be really cool. That's kind of something I was wanting from this arc, but I don't know if we're gonna have enough time for something like that though. Because I feel like we're going to wrap this up. It might last, going into 2 episodes possibly. Maybe, we'll see. But, I feel like once this battle ends, we don't have much time for this arc left. Because we're probably going to go back and the finale is going to happen. And then they'll graduate and then leave on the Bravasagi. The newly repaired Bravasagi. So I don't know how much room we have for something like that, But I get your point, Thomas. They have their old Mons back, even Unova ones, which I think is good. It's just that I just don't think that it was handled the best in hindsight. If we should have that in the beginning of Aim to be a Pokemon Master, so could have seen them battle with their old teams. See, that would have actually been kind of neat if like Team Rocket showed up and they had like their Mons like in each episode, kind of like how Ash rotated his team throughout Aim to be a Pokemon Master. That would have been cool. Could have got the Kalos Pokemon in one episode, like some of their teams from the other regions too, Unova, Kalos, Alola, whatever. We'll just assume that they somehow get like Mimikyu or something. I mean, if Incineroar is going to show up, or Incineroar Rowlet is going to show up, then, you know, their Alola Pokemon can show up too, and maybe have that Beware gag or something like that randomly. I think that would have worked better. I adore Morpeko. I will not take the slander. It deserved more time after it was caught. Like, Morpeko was way better. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, or I guess we're gonna have to agree to disagree, because, yeah, not a fan of Morpeko. It had a good capture episode, but then after that, it just stuck to its gimmick. And I just didn't care for it anymore after that point. I think Quaxly should have learned Aqua Cutter in the gym battle against Iono. It still could possibly learn it in the future. I do think learning a fighting type move was actually really cool. An indication that it might eventually fully evolve too. So that's good. Well, let me take a little bit more of my drink. Sorry. I was just looking at something for a second. Let me get caught up here. Elephant in the room. Nimona isn't doing much. Please have Palmont versus King Gambit and have Nimona appear as a recurring character after this arc. Okay, so I get what you're saying. And I understand that Nimona is not, you know, a focal point here, but I do think that she should, you know, be prevalent. I think what's gonna happen is that Nimona is more than likely gonna be involved with the finale of this arc. Like I said, I think Penny is going to inform Dot that the explorers, you know, have invaded the school and she's figured them out. And that's gonna lead to like a finale battle or something with the explorers versus like Liko, Roy, Dot. Maybe Nimona gets involved. Penny gets involved, and you know they're holding up the explorers, and then you know the Elite Force shows up, and they're like, "Yep, we gotta bounce. We can't take all these people on." Maybe not go exactly that way, but yeah. Something major is gonna happen at the end of this arc, and I feel like Nimona will be involved in it. But yeah, I do think that Nimona needs a little bit more screen time. And needs to do something as well. I'm not completely like disappointed, but I was hoping that Anne would be a little bit more involved with this arc. At least she had her battle with Liko and then, you know, was there for when they were doing their Elite Four battles. Which is cool, but maybe she'll be involved unless we get the reveal that she's a traitor. And she's actually part of the Explorers. Don't know if that's going to be a thing, but she was there when the Explorers were battling against doing their Elite Four battles, so hey, who knows. Maybe it was just a red herring after all. I'm not a Mime Jr. fan. We should have kept Chimiko. She was James' best companion next to Chimiko. It was short-lived though. Gotcha. That's fair enough. I did not like Hatena's evolution because it was random and Hatena barely even battled, and I'm just thinking how it is evolving before Quaxly and Fuecoco. Yeah, I just like with Wattrell, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I kind of feel like they just evolved just because like they had to evolve. That's why, like, I don't think the evolutions themselves are like necessarily bad. It's just that like I feel like they should have been displayed a little bit better previously, especially Wattrell. But Hatena wasn't like a battler until it literally evolved. But it does kind of feel like they evolved just because the plot needed them to evolve for them to be involved in part 2 of the Terrestrial course. That's the only thing I will say that rubs me the wrong way with their evolutions. Especially Hatena, just because it didn't battle previously, but now it's a battler. It can beat up a bunch of Annihilates, so it's a little scary. Why isn't Nimona mentoring the kids more? You bring up another good point. I feel like they're kind of building to like Roy and Nimona having a bit of a rivalry. I guess I mentioned earlier that like why doesn't Roy have a rival? Like Amethio is probably going to be ultimately Liko like main like rival when she starts, or probably post this arc or whatever. Kind of move on from Freed being Amethio's main rival. Because Liko and Amethio have a lot of dynamics going between them, but Nimona might be a rival for Roy. For him to work and get stronger. Maybe he decides at the end of this like series that I want to like become a champion in Paldea or something like that, and takes on the challenge. And yeah, who knows? It's hard to say. But I feel like they're going the route of like Nimona just, wanting to battle and like be kind of like Roy's main rival or something like that, rather than mentoring the kids more. But I get your point. It'd be nice if she did mentor them and kind of just lead them in the right direction. She hasn't been as involved as I'd like her to be. It's just like the way I see it, it's like how are we gonna integrate it though, Just because like we're gonna be leaving Paldea after this arc, and who knows when we'll be back. So it's like, what's Nimona gonna do for the time being? It'd be cool if she was like involved, or maybe she like went out with them like on their trip or something like that for a little bit. That'd be cool, but I would not expect something like that to happen, unfortunately. Even with Chimiko's short time at James' team, she made more impact than Mime Jr. I see. Gotcha, bud. I'm heading to bed. Enjoy your night. All right, Kevin. Well, have a great rest of the night. Hope you sleep well tonight. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Everyone, wish Kevin a good night. If Fuecoco evolved in the Rhyme battle, do you think it would learn a new move also? I think that would be cool, but man, Fuecoco's already got a stacked move set. So we would have to delete a move. It's kind of hard to say what move would be deleted. Don't forget the Annihilate took a lot of damage beforehand by battling against each other. That is true. Brutal Swing just doesn't help because that's a super effective move on it. And Heteram gained a lot of experience from beating all those Annihilates. But then again, game logic doesn't come into the anime, so meh. I want to see it actually battle, though, and see what it's capable of in an actual battle, though. Without, having that handicap. So it'll be interesting to see. I have an idea. What if Roy beats Nimona at the end of the series? I will say Roy was doing a pretty good job against her in that episode where he went up against Brassius. he pretty much really lost that battle due to the weather. But him beating Lamona in the end would be a really good development, I think. It would show how much stronger he's gotten and would definitely be a full circle moment for him. So I would actually be down for that. They should have made Nemona show up out of nowhere whenever they do a terrestrial test, following the gag from the games. Like, she just shows up, you're like, oh, you did a good job in that battle. Now, let's battle. I'm a bit 50-50 on that. The only reason I say that is I can see people kind of getting a little bit fed up with her doing that every single time. I don't know if I would necessarily get fed up, but I can see people being like, ugh, again? But I do think that she should be a little bit more involved in the series. I'm just wondering if we're going to be doing anything with Arven, or if he's going to even show up in this arc at all. Because again, once we get done with these tests, we're pretty much done with the terrestrial course. We just got to wrap up the arc. And I'm just going to indicate this once again. Mabosstiff has not shown up in the series, at least to my knowledge. So we could still see Arven before we end this arc. Just saying. Anyways, I'll take more of my drink here. We've gone on a little bit longer than I was intending, but it's been a good conversation. I want to see more of Nemona's Pokemon. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think she's gonna have like a huge team. Usually anime kind of limits them unless it's like, you know, a major character like Leon or something like that. So she probably only has like 3 Pokemon or something like that. Though I could be wrong. So yeah, anywho, so guys, I thank you guys once again for being here. Different time than usual, and also getting late here on a Sunday night. Alright, yep. Where I'm at, it's after 10, so, is there anything else you guys want to chat about here? Anything at all? If you haven't voted in the poll, make sure you cast your vote. We got 18 votes. Oh my gosh. It's definitely more than the last time I checked. Okay, give you guys another minute or two. Would you like it if Fuecoco evolved in the rhyme battle? I don't know if you asked me this before or not. I already laid out my whole scenario where we have a major montage of Roy and Fuecoco. They're backed into a corner in their battle against Rhyme. We get a flashback of all the times, you know, Roy and Fuecoco, you know, from when they first met, and then, you know, various highlights throughout the episodes. You know, and it leads to them doing their song that they've been doing since pretty much the very beginning, since their first battle against the Explorers till now with their battle against Rhyme. And due to, you know, Roy and, you know, Fuecoco being in sync and doing their song, it ends up evolving. And then terrestrializes and wins against Rhyme. That would be fantastic. That would pretty much make the battle, in my opinion. It'd probably end up being one of the best episodes of Horizons if they went that route. Oh, hey, Station Square. Okay. Anything else, guys? We're probably gonna go ahead and wrap things up here in just a minute. So I'll give you guys another like 2 or 3 minutes here to kind of, you know, ask any remaining questions, and then I think we're gonna call it a night. Okay. It got very quiet, that's for sure. No worries, it's getting late. I'm getting a little bit sleepy here. I will see you later. I'm going to bed. I like chatting with the questions. Bye. Have a nice night. You too, Super Plush Productions. Thank you for showing up and, you know, having a good chat here. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. We'll be doing it at our normal time again. I'm pretty sure I don't have anything going on next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. This weekend I'm actually kind of busy with something, but yeah. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Thank you once again for joining, and yeah. Have a good rest of the day or night wherever you're at. Alright, with that said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this stream up. So if you're still here, thank you so much for joining. You guys are the best. We got to 11 likes. I was hoping for 15, but it's okay. If you want to go ahead and give this video or this stream a like before we wrap things up, I would appreciate it. But if you've already liked it, you know, you've already done your part, so don't worry. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. It looks like we got 18 votes. And 8-7 wins. 10-9 got 37%. I'm just going to stick with a 7 for this one. Because I feel like this is kind of how I feel about the episode. It's a 7. Which is a good rating in my opinion. So, I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. Alrighty guys. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I will announce here that I am going to be getting back into gaming streaming. I've been taking a little bit of a hiatus from it due to being very busy in life and also having various different issues with the streams, whether it's audio issues or mic issues. Obviously, I had a microphone audio issue at the beginning of the stream, so be putting a note down in the comment section after the video ends, wherever the stream picks up at. For people that just discover this after the fact. But had a lot of issues with streaming, so I've kind of shied away from streaming for a little bit, but I think I'm going to make a small comeback. We're going to be doing it very slow for right now. Maybe do 1 gaming stream a week, maybe 2 eventually, but I just want to just keep it low at the moment and then work our way back up. We'll see. Like I said, I've been pretty busy in life, so unless things change, I'm going to probably keep things the way they are unless I get some more free time in the future. Anywho, that's enough chit-chat for now, so yeah, we'll be starting that. We'll be doing a stream tomorrow. I'll have it set up at some point. And I might do a video on the upcoming episodes if we get summaries for them in the next week or so. If the summaries are, you know, distinct enough for me to make said video. So we'll see. But anyways, that's all I got for this stream. So if you're still here, thank you so much for joining. Have a great day or night wherever you're at. I hope you have a wonderful rest of this week. Again, we don't have an episode airing this week, so there will not be a Horizon stream this upcoming weekend. It won't be until the next weekend. So anyways, guys, again, thank you so much for joining. Have a great rest of the day or night wherever we're at. And I'll see you all later. Bye.